Hey guys, it's Ani. Today, you guys, I wanted to share such a powerful manifesting. It's not a technique. Just it's almost like, why do I freeze up when I? It's not a technique. It is literally a way of being, like a state, manifesting state, right? So this is for any one of you manifesting anything, especially a person, a specific person, or a job offer, or more money, whatever it is. It has to involving other people. Um, Also, if you get fearful and you get anxious and you spiral a lot, or if you're very sensitive and you don't know how to deal with the 3D, this video is for you. When I started doing this, everything changed in the game for me. Everything. It's a game changer. And you guys probably don't know this, but because I haven't heard anyone talk about this, and the only reason I'm talking about it is because of my personal experience. I learned to get through it on my own, and now I'm going to share it with you guys. So, did you know that fear is actually very powerful in manifesting? Fear, anxiety, overthinking, being a highly sensitive person, it's all extremely powerful. So if you are experiencing any of that, you can definitely transform it to extreme power. So I will show you how. I learned this many years ago when I experienced a third party in my relationship. Um, I did it unintentionally, but turning your fear into like power and tapping into that state of being, everyone feels that off of you. Everyone, your SP, your exes from before, your mom, your dad, your cousins, family that you haven't seen for years, everyone starts coming into the picture because you become highly magnetic. Okay, and I'll tell you how. So, everything is rooted from a thought first. Your emotions are rooted from thoughts. I can tell you a story, and I could tell your neighbor the same story. You might take that story as very neutral. Your neighbor might take that story as very negative. Who is right and who is wrong? No one's right and no one's wrong. It's the perspective. If the neighbor takes it in a negative way, they will manifest a negative experience in their reality. If you take it in a neutral way or a positive way, the words coming out of my mouth, you will experience a more positive outcome. And it doesn't have to be me saying something. It's literally anything you put perspective on, whether you're viewing it in a nice way, in a bad way, you're literally creating more of those emotions to come forth because it's going to be pushed out in your reality. If you're following with me, comment down below. So, if thoughts create the feelings, right? Then the feelings are most feelings are very similar. Like excitement and anxiety are almost the same, except the way you're taking it is anxiety is more, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be negative, right? Anxiety is kind of more on the negative side of things, but excitement's more on the positive side of things. It's literally just a hair difference, but the emotions are the same. You can be really excited. You can have butterflies in your stomach about something positive. You can be really anxious and have butterflies in your stomach from something negative, right? So how do you take fear and adrenaline and anxiety and change it into working in your favor? What I would do, you guys, is I would make sure when something would trigger me and I would feel anxious or really nervous, and it would start boiling within me to a point where now I'm feeling the emotions real hard, right? When that would happen, I would always remove myself from where I am. Like if I was driving, I would maybe pull over, or if I was in a room full of people, I would go somewhere and be alone, and I would start getting really clear on what's happening with me. I would ask myself questions. When you ask yourself questions in those moments, and you've probably heard this in other videos of mine, when you ask yourself questions in the moments you're about to spiral, or in the moments you're about to really react and you don't know how to control your emotions, your brain starts becoming more logical and it kind of simmers down the emotions. This is very helpful with people that suffer with anxiety and panic attacks. I used to suffer with it all the time. Now I don't have any. I don't have any anxiety attacks or panic attacks, but I used to, and it used to be really, really bad. Separate yourself from, if you're in a group or wherever you are, separate yourself. Maybe go to the bathroom, go somewhere alone, get a nice glass of water, chug it down, start asking yourself, why do I feel this way? What's causing me to feel this way? Do I feel like I do not have control over this moment right now? Why? Why don't I remember right now that I'm God of my reality? Answer it. Because you are not used to being God of your reality. Okay, I'm not used to being God of my reality. What else? What else? But what's the real truth? The real truth is everything's rooted out of my thoughts and assumptions. Okay, so what's happening right now? I'm just going back to the old thought process. I'm just going back to the old thinking pattern. That's all that's happening. If you guys resonate with this, comment down below. When you become more logical and scientific with the emotional part of you, it becomes much more simpler. You become much more neutral when you do that. So I would highly recommend you doing that. Next, what I would do is I would like to really go drive alone. Put on some music that would pump me up, remind me of who I am. Most of the time I would sit in the car really fearful. Like when I manifested third party a long time ago, it's probably over, I don't know, way over 5 years ago. And I didn't know about I didn't really know about law of assumption. I was barely like learning it. When I experienced that, all these thoughts of not being chosen, not being wanted, not being a priority, everything was flooding in my head. Like everything was trying to bring me down and push me down and make me feel really low about myself. And it was completely I was separating myself from everyone. Like I knew a little bit about everyone as you pushed out, but definitely in those moments when you feel anxious and you feel that adrenaline and you feel that fear coming up, what you do is you separate yourself. You forget that everyone's you pushed out, and you just think everyone is separate than you, especially your SP. So if that ever happens to you, remember this. Write this down. Write it in your phone. Make it a wallpaper. Have a Post-it note wherever you are, in your car, in your wallet, wherever it is. Everyone is me pushed out at all times. There's no exception to the rule. No one has free will in my reality. Nobody does. It's just me, even in my anxious moments, even in my fearful moments. Now, what would I do? I would sit in the car fearful, but I knew I had to be alone because I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I couldn't sit down and explain, oh my God, everyone's you pushed out, but I'm having a spiral moment. Couldn't do any of that. So I would sit down, start my car up, put on some really badass music and drive. And I don't mean speed drive, just calmly drive and get my thoughts together. Now, if that's not something you would like to do. Like, you rather like sit still somewhere. To each their own, but I'm just explaining what I would do. Wherever you are, whether you're in a car, whether you're in a room, wherever you are, I want you to get a little familiar with those thoughts running around. It's like little kids, okay? In your mind, running around, screaming. You can't control them. And then you just want to scream like, stop, stop it. Everyone stop. Quiet, right? That's what's happening. So you want to quiet your mind. How do you quiet your mind? Put on some good music and start asking yourself, how did I get here? Most likely my past fears, thoughts, and assumptions got me here. Okay, cool. I'm acknowledging it. I am acknowledging that I created this moment. Number one. Number two, if I created that moment, I could create any other moment that serves me. Correct? Correct. But you don't believe that in that moment. You're literally not believing that in that moment. That's why you're feeling that way. So you really got to talk yourself out of that state, that fear lack state. Use that power that's running through your body in that moment. Use that adrenaline to discipline yourself. And you can do it. You can do it. And you guys have probably felt this when, I don't know how to explain it, but there's this power that comes over you when you know you gotta stick up for yourself right now, right? Like, I'm sure throughout your life you guys have felt that way, where there's this moment where you just feel like a warrior, like a beast. And even if negative things are happening in your life, in that moment you're like, I need to get it together right now, right? Either I get it together or I lose control. And losing control is total reactor mode. And you weren't born to be a reactor. Okay? So that adrenaline comes through you, like through your veins, right? You're in power. You're still in control. It doesn't matter if it's negative, or it doesn't matter if it's positive. You are still in control when the fear is running through your veins and the adrenaline is running through your veins. So sit yourself down. Tell yourself, I am having a reactor moment. I'm human. It's fine. Who's the root of everything? Me. Who caused this? Me. Does it suck? Yes. Can I get out of it? Yes. Ani's gotten out of it. Ani's gotten out of it. Ani's gotten out of a lot of things. Like, you guys, at this point in my life, and the reason why I'm even sharing this with you is because I want all of you to feel this way at some point in your life. You will not fear anything. When you get a full grasp of mastering your life and mastering your thoughts and emotions and disciplining your mind, reprogramming your mind, rewiring it, you will not fear anything. I don't fear anything. In this moment, I can successfully say I do not fear anything. And I've been through some crazy, crazy times in my life. But that's probably for another video. So stand up for yourself in that moment, regardless of what's going on around you. Remember, 3D's old. Pump up what gets you going. Get some pump up music on the radio and declare what you want in that moment. Let's say SP told you something that completely triggered you and completely proved to you that you are not a priority in that moment, right? As you're driving, as you're walking, wherever you are in that moment, declare it, say it. I am God of my reality. You are me pushed out. Everyone's me pushed out. Everyone is listening to me right now. In this moment, everyone is listening to me. Everyone can hear my thoughts. Everyone could hear my commands and what I'm declaring. And I am declaring that I am a priority in this very second right now. I'm a priority and you all hear me. I am chosen and you all show me. You will be surprised, you guys, when you use that fear and switch it to power mode. When you switch your reactor mode to creator mode, it doesn't even matter if you're crying. I don't even care if you guys are crying. Use that moment. Use your power. Please, I think in the law of attraction community, and I would get really like confused with this too. And when I first started manifesting, it's like it's false information when they train you that like you have to be in a positive vibe in order to create. Wrong. You know how many shifts I've created, how many states I've changed, how many fearful moments I had, and I still manifested in those moments because I realized what I'm doing and I declared what I wanted instead of what I didn't want. So don't fall for the you got to be positive. So get positive and then declare what you want. No. Every single moment of your day is a brand new moment to create. Every millisecond you are creating. Okay. And I'm not saying this to scare you. Like, don't think, oh my God, like every millisecond I got to be on top of my thoughts. But just make it a rule that I don't have to be positive in order to create, because that's not the truth. If you say so, then it will be so. Okay. But for example, like, I have a good analogy. So, right now, as you're watching me, as you're listening to me, right now, your old story doesn't exist. You playing it in your mind, bringing it from the past into your now it exists. You remembering and bringing it back into this very moment, now it exists. The best way I could put it is imagine you're at a buffet, okay? Imagine you are at a buffet, and those of you that have been at a buffet, you know, like there's empty plates in the beginning of the line. You grab an empty plate and you go around checking what you want to put on your plate, right? Okay. You put it on your plate, you take it back to the table and you start eating, right? You wouldn't take your plate of leftovers, like what you didn't want to eat, right? To the second round of the buffet, right? Like, let's say it's a huge buffet and you just barely touched the surface of what you want to try. So you came back, you ate it, and then now you have leftovers. You don't want to eat those anymore. You're not going to take this dirty plate back to the line, right? Usually, the waiters take your dirty plate and you go and you get a brand new plate. And now you start filling it with the new stuff, right? So please think of that as your now moment. Do not bring the leftovers and the doubts and the fears and the scary assumptions you had from the past onto your new plate. Don't bring those leftovers onto your new plate. And your new plate is now. Your new plate is the next second, the next second, the next second, the next second. You are a clean plate, a clean slate. Don't leave the leftovers there. How do you leave the leftovers? Memory. How do you leave the leftovers? Constantly replaying the old story over and over again. I'm not chosen. They didn't choose me. They're still with the third party. I'm not rich yet. I'm still broke. Because time doesn't matter. Circumstances don't matter. Only what you're holding dominant in your thoughts matter. Okay? So I hope that analogy helps. If that analogy helps, you guys comment down below. I thought of that like today, and I was like, it could totally go with what I'm trying to explain. But anyway, fear and anxiety. When you feel fear and when you feel anxiety, do what I do. Declare what you want, regardless of what you feel in that moment. You guys have seen in the movies, right? Like when the, I don't know, like when the good person finally is sick of all the villains trying to take over, and they just stomp really hard and the whole world shakes, like the king or queen, right? and the whole world shakes, even if they're angry or crying, but the power is felt all over the kingdom. That's literally how powerful you are. And I know it sounds kiddish, but that's literally how powerful you are. Your thought is heard throughout the kingdom. Your life, your reality is the kingdom. So use every moment, even the ones where you don't feel good, as a moment to declare what you want. You will be surprised how you manifest so easily and immediately. I used to do that when that's how I got rid of a third party. I know I created third party because for a very long time I just was paying attention to my 3D, and at the time I didn't know what I was doing, but I was paying attention to my 3D so much, like literally whatever you're not supposed to do, like whatever you're not supposed to do, I would do. And I would just feel like a victim and feel so bad about myself and feel so terrible and pathetic. And that's how it happens. You manifest third parties when you don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good about who you are. You don't feel good about your body, your face, your job, your relationship, your relationships with friends, family, at work. When you constantly put yourself down, especially in a relationship, like you constantly, like you're waiting for the other person to do right by you. Like you're literally waiting for them to be like, no, I love you. Like you're waiting for validation, and then you're not getting the validation. So you're getting even more pissed off. And then you're waiting for more validation and you're not getting any more validation and you're getting even more pissed off. That even brings a third party along because you're focused on lack. You're focused on you not being good enough, you not being perfect enough, you not being validated enough, you not being reassured enough by your partner. But the truth is, they will not do it unless you do it to yourself. That's what brings along a third party. That's what breaks up relationships. That's what causes hot and cold behavior. The more and more and more you feel it, first it's going to be breakups or arguments, frustrations, disappointments from the other person. Then you're going to constantly focus on it more and more. And then it's going to be finally third party, because what else? Like you can fight and fight and fight and fight, but it's growing, right? The focus is growing. So the next thing is to literally push a third party in your situation, and your subconscious is like, all you were thinking about was lack. The best thing I could do to prove lack in your reality, because you're God and I gotta prove to you what you constantly think about is true. The next thing I could prove to you that you're right is a third party. That is completely lack written all over it. That is complete low self-esteem written all over it. Now, no one's trying to hurt you and no one's trying to test you. It's literally you're beating the lack drum so much, it has to show up. First, it shows up through arguments, then breakups, then getting back together, then breakups again, and then finally third party. If you get what I'm saying, comment down below. So not a problem. Whatever you manifest into your reality that you don't desire, it's absolutely not a problem. You can manifest it out just like the way you manifested it in. It's law. Easy come, easy go, right? So please don't take anything personal that anyone does. Everyone is you pushed out. If you start taking something personal from another person, and I understand there are moments where it can hurt a lot, you in that moment you are separating them from you. You are giving them the exception that the law doesn't apply to them. And guess what? If you say the law doesn't apply to them, it won't apply to them. If you say they have free will, they'll have free will. Because everything you say is right. Everything you think is right. Your thoughts are laws. Your thoughts are commands. However you say, whatever you say, whether it's true or false, it's going to be shown back to you. So don't be surprised if you've been beating the lack and self worth, like low self-worth, low self-esteem drum, that you're not in the best situation of your life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what you reap. What is it? What you reap, you sow. So the best advice I can give you, you guys, because I've done it and it's worked, and I've told my clients to do it and it's worked, is in your anxious, triggered, reactive moments, you put your foot down like the king or queen you are. You, what's that? What is that called? That, is it a cane or a pole? What is it? You know what the kings and queens have? Oh my God. Whatever. I can't think of it. You smash that on the floor and the whole floor shakes and everyone feels it because you are that powerful. That is how powerful your words are. That is how powerful your thoughts are. I've literally, and so have my clients, have changed behaviors and evidence of SPs in less than 24 hours by doing this, by taking that moment that I was going to use to cry and become highly or like sensitive and worry and doubt everything. I've taken those moments and completely transformed it to no, I'm going to get what I want. I don't care. I don't care. And you know what? I understand you guys because I'm a highly, highly sensitive person. And in those moments, when you hear something not so pleasant from your SP, in those moments, you feel like, do I even want you anymore? The way you spoke to me or what you said to me or what you did to me, do I even want you anymore? Those are the moments you have to remember you created this version in your mind first. Everything is created here first. Millionaires are created here first. Billionaires are created in your mind first. Anything is created with an idea, with a thought, with imagination first. You will not experience something unless you believe it to be true. You can't. Like, how should I explain this? You cannot experience a version of someone unless you thought once that they are capable of doing that. I used to feel so low and pathetic sometimes when I would experience like really bad versions of my SP, like not making me a priority, not choosing me. And I would want to blame everything on that person. Even sometimes when I knew about law of assumption, I still wanted to put the blame on the other person because that's the old, that's our human, that's our ego. Your ego wants to take over. Your ego wants to save you from that person. Your ego wants to tell you and whisper in your ear, did you see what they did? Did you see? Did you see how they talked to you? You better get back at them. You better play hard to get now. They're never going to see you again. They're going to cry for you. That's your ego talking. Don't listen to your ego. Your ego is just trying to keep you safe, and it doesn't really know truly how powerful you are. Okay, so it's trying to take outside action, but your inside inner world power tops everything. It's God, and God doesn't question anything. God is just all powerful. No one can question God, right? So when that would happen with me, I would just be like, it's not me, it's that other person. I wouldn't want to create that version. Are you kidding? I wouldn't want to experience that version. I wouldn't even think of that version. False. If you really think about it, you guys, don't lie to yourself. Don't BS yourself. Let's be real. Sit down and think about it for a second. And when I was honest with myself, I did like man up and I did acknowledge, like, yeah, I did create that. You have thought of that person being probably a jerk to you. Or maybe they've done it once and then you couldn't forget it and you always replayed it and you thought, wow, this is a possible characteristic of this person. Okay, I need to be aware of this going forward in the relationship, right? So if it's showing up, you once thought it. If it's showing up, you even if you didn't think about it in them, you've accepted it as a possibility in other people. So it will show up. Okay? That's why this is very important. This is such a lesson that I learned in manifesting. Do not judge anyone, even though they're you pushed out. Do not judge. Do not think highly or low of people. Do not think too highly of yourself and be conceited. Be neutral and be grateful. When I didn't know about law of assumption, everything I judged in my life, I attracted, and I had to walk in those shoes of those people. I experienced it on my own skin. When I was a kid and I didn't know the whole truth of life and all of this, and I would be judging people left and right? I didn't know what I was doing, but I was bringing it into my awareness, into my consciousness. And when you bring it into your awareness, even if it's like, yeah, look at them, like they think they're all that, whatever, even if you do that, you're literally attaching that to your reality. And I literally would experience what I would judge. If you've experienced this, comment down below. It's a very eye-opening thing. Like, once you learn about law of assumption, everything you focus on, you're bringing into your reality. Things you judge, the people you judge, the way they're dressed, the way they talk, anything you judge and you focus on, you're like, check on my list, push it out, let me experience it. So be very careful how you are with others, because sooner or later it's now, most people would call this karma, but whatever you call it, it all comes back to thoughts. And when you focus on something, you experience it. It's just like seeing those mini manifestations you guys do, right? When you think of a yellow car and you see a yellow car, and then you see 15 of them, and then you see a million of them. You put your focus on it and it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and it's a part of your reality now. Okay? So key points of this video is, remember, there's no time that's a wrong time to declare what you want. Whether you feel good, whether you feel bad, whether you feel anxious, whether you feel too sensitive, whether you feel nervous, talk your power into yourself. No one's going to do it but you. No one can do it but you. And you have to do it. You have to do it, because if you want things fast and you want to see evidence and you want to start living a successful life as a successful manifester, as a master manifester, as a beast in manifesting, you got to do it. Because you take this with you everywhere you go. You cannot run. You cannot run or hide from your thoughts. If you sleep, it's going to come in your dreams. If you wake up, it's going to be rolling around in your mind, and you're going to just be like, what the hell? So work on yourself, discipline yourself, discipline your thoughts, bring it back to, this is law, this is science, it's logical. Don't make it as like, oh, this is like, mystical. Yes, it is mystical, but like, the more you think of it that way, the more you can't grasp it. You know what I mean? The more logical you make it, the more you're like, okay, I can control this. I could totally control this. Truth is, you can control every moment of every day of every second of your life. You have full control over it. It's an illusion if you think you don't. Okay? So declare what you want. Morph your fear into power. Because it's just adrenaline. It's just energy. running through your veins in that moment at a really fast speed, and it's making you feel emotions, transform it into power. You can. Try it out, and then you'll tell me in the comments down below later how good it feels, because you'll see evidence fast. Next, remember, what you put focus on, you're going to experience it very soon. So try not to judge people, try not to put people down, try not to feel good about yourself. I'm not saying don't have a high self-concept, but don't be looking at people from up above down on them, because what you're doing is you're focusing on that, and what's going to happen is you will soon experience that. So you guys got this, seriously. All of you guys sending me all these success stories from the courses, from the Manifest Your SP Now course to the Money and Abundance Now to Remove the Third Party Now. You guys are so amazing. I am so proud of each and every one of you doing the homework, getting the results. And if you don't even have a chance to meet with me and you're getting evidence, like, I love that. If you guys do want to meet with me, you can go to our website. It's going to be linked in the description box down below. You can just check out the calendar. If there's no times available, there is a wait list you can apply to, and then you will get a notification when the time slot opens up for you. If you need to if you wanted to purchase the courses, you guys would just go to our website and then go to courses, Ani's courses. I have 3 courses available. I always say this in every one of my videos, but just a reminder, when you go to purchase a course, do not worry about the date and time that's showing on the website. Do not worry about the date and time showing up on the website. That is for the systems end. The moment you purchase a course, you have full access to it, which is the best thing ever, because the faster you can get to it, the faster you can manifest whatever you want, right? You guys, I appreciate you so much. We do have that giveaway still going. The giveaway is 3 free coaching sessions with a coach of your choice from the CYF team. All you got to do is like the video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and I intend each and every one of you watching this video sees evidence right now. I love you guys. See you. Bye.